If you're trying to consciously manifest, you've got to pay more attention to what is happening in here as opposed to what is happening in your outside world. Now, a lot of people get so triggered by the 3D world, me included, and it can be especially hard when things aren't seeming to go your way. And I know from personal experience, like the last couple of weeks have felt really challenging in that, like, I'm creating this vision and this reality in my mind, yet my 3D world seems to have been throwing me like roadblock after roadblock. And so I've had to decide whether I'm going to allow myself to pay attention and to focus on what seems to be happening in the 3D, or focus my energy and my attention on thinking the thoughts that are in alignment with who it is that I desire to be and what it is that I desire to have. See, it's funny because we humans, we seem to think that the outside world is more real than what is going on inside our inner world, right? Whereas our imagination does not know the difference between something that is really happening versus something that we are imagining and creating in our mind. And this is where so many people create the past over and over again, because they're constantly thinking about it. Therefore, their imagination does not know the difference, so they create more and more and more of the past, which is fine if the past was good, but it's not fine if you want to create a different reality. So instead, this week, I made a really conscious effort to be like, okay, I see what the 3D is reflecting. I know that it's only being reflected back to me that way because that is my inner world. It is just showing me what is going on within me. So instead of getting as triggered as what I would have in the past, I instead approached it with curiosity. Like, okay, that's really interesting. Like that's happened, or this thing that I wanted to happen hasn't happened. What's going on inside of me? What are the thoughts that I'm thinking that are contributing to that? And so I've been really diligent with intercepting the shitty thoughts that aren't in alignment with where I want to go and what I want to create, and flipping those in the moment. But also, honestly, I've had some really big emotions to move through this week. So I've been leaning on all of those tools that I know can help me move through the emotional stuff so that I can bounce back and get back into the state of who it is that I desire to be a lot quicker, rather than staying in those big, heavy emotions. So if you are feeling like, the 3D world is just kind of running over you, start to look at your thoughts with curiosity and be like, okay, that's really interesting that that's happened. Given that the 3D is just a mirror of what is going on within me, what is going on within me that is actually causing that to be reflected back to me, right? And just look at it with curiosity, knowing that you can change it. And also, I would say that if you've got some big emotional stuff, make sure you're leaning on the tools that you know can help you move through that quicker, so you're not staying in that place of feeling low and sad and whatever those feelings are for too long. We are human, right? We're always going to feel the emotions. We're always going to feel all of the emotions on the spectrum. It's okay to feel them. We get to then decide, though, how long we're going to stay in them. We've got to decide if we're going to stay in those emotions, or if we are going to allow ourselves to move through them, or them to move through us, and then we get back into the state of being who we desire to be and having what we want to have a lot quicker, which is going to mean our manifestations come a lot quicker.